Well, hello, welcome to Soap Secrets. We are going to be talking Corrie, EastEnders, Hollyoaks, Emmerdale, the whole jolly lot. And Claire Ruck is here to talk about them with me. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Hannah.
Hello. Now, first, there's a bit of a note, isn't there? Because
Yes.
soap fans need to take a note of the new soap times.
Yes, so ITV is making the 6:30 news an hour. It used to be only be half an hour, so now the news runs from 6:30 to 7:30, which means Emmerdale has a new time of 7:30 and Corrie is now 8 p.m. And if you forget, or it's not convenient because, Emmerdale's always been at 7 and lots of people like it at 7. Don't forget, you can catch up on ITV Hub. So
Yeah, that's true. I always forget about... Well, I don't always forget about the ITV Hub, actually, but you're right. You can just sort of put them all in there and catch them up, can't you? Okay, so Coronation Street.
Yes. So it's new times for Corrie are an hour-long episode at 8 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Now, we call that six episodes in total. I know that's only 3 Coronation Streets, but we view half an hour as one episode. So you're still getting your full 6 this week, but you're getting a bonus on the Sunday.
Ooh.
It's on the Sunday. You got an hour long on the Sunday because this week, Hannah, is simply unmissable.
Okay, so because there's an episode on Sunday, that makes it 8 episodes.
Yes.
Wow, gosh, they must have something going on. We can't miss the Sunday one either, can we?
No, you must not miss the Sunday episode, and I would advise you to watch it in sequence if you can. Don't think, I'm just going to ignore the Sunday one. You must watch Sunday one.
Okay, and watch them in sequence. Okay, I've got it noted. That's it. Now, what's it focused around? Because a couple of weeks ago, Kevin discovered that Abby had a one-night stand, and they split up.
Yes.
And she's on a pretty downward spiral.
Yes. So she's also struggling because it's son Seb's birthday. That's the first one since his death.
Yeah.
Hannah. So she's going to be all over the place, isn't she? And, so Kevin discovered that she had been unfaithful to him and had a one-night stand. He thinks that it's her ex, Tez. He doesn't know, of course, that she had a one-night stand with Imran. And nobody knows. Toya knows that Imran had a one-night stand, but she doesn't know that the person is Abby. So that's really, really, really important. So remember the Bluetooth conversation in the swanky motorhome,
and the phone goes onto it. Oh, yes. Dear. The stuff of nightmares.
So that's that. So this week after the holiday, Kevin returns home and he's thought about it and thinking, well, she was really stressed and upset, and Tez was the father of Seb. So he's thinking about patching things up, which is is really nice of him. But he lets himself into their home only to discover Abby and her drug dealer Dean high on drugs on the sofa.
Oh dear.
So she's gone back to her old ways.
Which is, unfortunately, the first part of recovery is hitting a bad patch and not going back, isn't it? Yeah. And she's failed, I suppose.
Yes, she has. So Kevin throws them out, but not before Dean, who's a bad 'un, steals the keys to the garage, and then he takes a customer's car, a nice customer's car, like a BMW thing. Abby tries to stop him. She's high on drugs. I don't quite know how she does this, but she tries to stop him. She tries to grab the keys, but as she jumps into the passenger seat to try and grab the keys, he races off. So now we have Dean and Abby in the car, in a stolen car.
Oh no. And this is going even more horribly wrong, this next bit, isn't it?
So they're racing down a dark country lane, with Dean at the wheel. And Abby says, stop, stop. And she sort of doubles over in pain. And Dean does stop the car. And she gets out to the side of the road and just thinks, wow, this pain's amazing. And Dean just looks at her. He gets back in the car and he drives away. He leaves a woman in utter agony by the side of the road. So there she is, left in pain by the side of the road. And she manages to start calling an ambulance, but her phone dies, Hannah. Her phone dies.
Of course it does.
And she looks around and she only sees an empty road. What is going on? And will an ambulance get to Abby in time?
Now, is Abby leaving the show? Let's get my, my detective hat on. Oh, wow. Okay, so all systems go.
Yeah, it's going to be such a good week because it just what happens on the Sunday night impacts throughout the whole of the week. It's just amazing.
And it's not the only thing that's going on though, as with Corrie, a few things. Because Gary's back in the spotlight this week, and it seems like only yesterday, but it was 2019 that he killed loan shark Rick, and has been taking care of his daughter Kelly ever since. But this week it sort of comes back into the spotlight. It
does. So we know Kelly stood trial, didn't she, for the murder of Seb, was found guilty, and then Corrie was found to be the guilty one. So she's been through the mill a bit. She's got a flaky mum, Laura, very, very flaky. And Laura has just been recently diagnosed with cancer, and she wants, despite the fact that she's flaky and she's not living with her daughter, and daughter's living with Gary and his partner Maria, she decides she's going to hire a PI, a private investigator, to find Rick, because she wants if she dies, when she dies, she wants her daughter to have a little bit of financial security, Hannah, which will be very nice. But you know what? This puts Gary in a spin because he knows that Rick's dead and he knows where the body is buried, so he's got away with it for nearly 3 years.
Is the truth going to come out? Well, it's 8 episodes, so you guys get watching. Something's going to happen.
Do you know what? I would really like Rick just to walk back into the street. I really would. I keep thinking he might, but I think he's dead. Do you? But, in a soap, anything could happen.
People come back from the dead, Claire. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to Emmerdale. Their new times are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday. Half an hour at 7:30 p.m. and an hour on Thursday. So 6 episodes in total, if that makes any sense at all. It's a food fight at dawn.
Yes. People really like the war, the war in the Dingles. So Charity and Chaz are cousins, and they're not seeing eye to eye. Well, so Chaz is still upset because she lost the pub. Charity bought it, and then wouldn't hire Chaz back. So there's bad blood, Hannah.
Well, you know what? Bad blood in that family is not a good thing, is it?
No. And so the opening of the Woolpack clashes with an event at the B&B. So Charity's angry that the Woolpack refit is not quite ready, and Charity is working at the B&B. And so at the B&B, it is meant to be, this is a bit confusing, an engagement party for Vinny and Liv, because Mandy thinks that Vinny and Liv are getting engaged. She doesn't realise that they eloped a couple of weeks ago and they're actually married.
Oh.
So she wants to, she's such a great mum, so she wants to throw an engagement party at the B&B, and obviously all the Dingles then will be at Vinny's engagement party. There won't be at Charity's relaunch of the Woolpack. So massive family, row going on, and we've got Mac and Pollard each trying to ruin each other's events. Where will it all end? Well, there's a rat infestation at the B&B.
I read a story about rats yesterday about I think it was a charity that had to go into a house where they just overbred, and they were all pet rats, and they had buried themselves into the owner's mattress.
Oh, that's a good place though to make a home if you're a rat. I think there's
70 odd rats they got out of there. Some too young to rehome. Oh, anyway, sorry, I digress.
So yes, there's a rat infestation at the B&B, and I suspect there might have been. That's a bit suspicious, isn't it? So there's been some tampering.
Some tampering.
Yeah. So the engagement party's moved to the Village Hall. Who hasn't been to an engagement party in a
Love
Village Hall?
I think they're really underrated.
Yeah. Yes. So Charity marches over there, and Charity and Chaz get into it, right? And somebody turns on the sprinkler system to try and calm the two warring cousins down, but Charity grabbed some of the food that's been laid out for the engagement party, and a food fight ensues.
Well, I do you know what, a food fight is just so messy, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, why?
I know. But the really upsetting things, the real loser in all of this is Mandy, because Noah, Charity's son, he's gone a bit mean, and he gets a letter addressed to Vinny and Liv, and he gives it to Mandy, and when she opens it, she discovers that it's their marriage certificate, and she's heartbroken that she wasn't invited to the wedding.
Yeah, you would be, wouldn't you?
I mean, so Vinny didn't want it because of all the dingle shenanigans, and you've just had a food fight between two cousins.
He had reason. He had good reason.
But his mum's heartbroken. Can Vinny ever make amends?
He will, because she adores him. But yes, it'll take some time and some trust, won't it?
Yes.
Well, good to see that Hollyoaks is marking International Women's Day. I like to see that, with a very special episode on Tuesday.
Yes, so they're going to... the dismissive terms that are used against women are going to be challenged and reclaimed by the women of Hollyoaks. So it's a really special episode to watch, Hannah.
Yeah, it's quite a good one for them. That's good of them to tackle that. I like it. Hollyoaks is good for that sort of thing. Yeah. And obviously last week there was the heartbreaking news about Ella's baby. That's kind of ramps up a bit this week.
Yes, it is. So we know that Ella and Charlie are teenagers, so people are trying to support them, but it is very difficult. Ella did go to the scan on her own, where she got some heartbreaking news, and she is considering an abortion this week. And Charlie, who hasn't been as supportive as he perhaps could be, is furious, and his grief turns to anger. And so they're not communicating, Hannah, in any way, shape or form, and it seems that the teenagers are at odds with how to handle the distressing news, because they're just too young. They're just too young.
Yeah. It's a lot for anyone to deal with, let alone at that age, when just a straightforward pregnancy would be tough. Yes. So as Ella's friends rally round, can Nancy persuade Charlie to be there for her? Let's hope. They need to pull together. Definitely. Yes. A lot of dating though also this week on a lighter note. So Misbah, this would be really nice for Misbah to find a nice man, especially after all of the Dr. Ali stuff that came up. How he raped her when she was younger and she had his baby shack. So she wants to spice up her dating life, and she's asked Perry to help her explore the world of online dating. Let's hope she hasn't watched The Tinder Swindler. Oh yeah, I know. Netflix. Have you? I haven't, because I find it all scary. A bit... Yeah. We're doing a big talking about piece this week about scams, because I think it's so important, because people are getting scammed right, left and centre. And one time it'd be, they're a bit stupid. They actually believe that. They fell for that. They're so good, these scams now, that any one of us could be caught at any moment in time. Yes. I think that's what scares me, and that's why... the fact that if you want to find love, there's people out there that are just going to rip you off. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. It really is. So let's hope Misbah has better time of it. And her son Shaq, who's also having a crisis of love, announces plans to go on 30 days worth of dates. Oh, wow, 30. Yes, that's a lot, isn't it? Unexpected. Conversation personally quite expensive, I would think too. I'm sorry, I can't remember where am I? What date is this? It's that's just too much. You've got to get dressed up every single. It's nice to go out occasionally, but seriously. Yeah. Okay, so it's all going on Hollyoaks now. Finally, EastEnders. So in response to Corrie and Emmerdale's new times, EastEnders is now on at 7:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, and there's no episode on Friday because there's the rugby. Yes. So there's no Friday yet this week, and yes. So this is major, because EastEnders is now going head to head with Emmerdale, because they're both at 7:30. So who's going to be the winner? We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. And I have some breaking news. Go for it. Tell me. Zach Morris, who plays Keegan, is going to be leaving. Oh. We saw
we saw Tiffany leave, so Keegan will now leave the square at some point. I'm not quite sure when, but I think they've got a lot of people leaving because Danny Dyer's got to go yet.
Yeah, the whole Danny Dyer thing, can't really deal with that. Okay, so obviously last week's some great episodes where Shirley and Mick discover that Tina had been murdered. So the net really is closing in on Gray. But there's a number of things then that happen, isn't there?
Yes. This is just, it's all really grey this week. It's grey, and more grey.
As grey as the square.
Yeah. So, Shirley, Linda Henry, who plays it last week, she was so amazing with finding out that Tina had been murdered. That was really shocking for her, So this week, DCI Arthurs asks Gray down to the station to talk about Tina. Because, Shirley's been thinking, he did say, I saw her on a bus. She's just not quite sure about Gray. But, Gray is a solicitor, so this isn't his first rodeo at a police station, is it? So he discovers that Arthurs is on a fishing expedition and he just gets up and leaves, so he doesn't have anything on him. So that's quite big. So then we also see Whitney goes to see Mick and tells him that she suspects Gray killed Chantel and that he also killed Tina. And when, Shirley finds this out, she's baying for Gray's blood. She marches round to his house and starts banging on his door, and she's got a kitchen knife in her hand, Hannah.
Wow. But she's been on to this for a while, hasn't she? So she, this is really kind of bubbling over now.
Yes. And desperate, Gray turns to the one person he can trust, and that's Karen, his former mother-in-law. And despite Whitney and Mick's accusation that Gray killed Chantel, Karen won't believe them, and she does actually hide Gray. Mitch, her partner, who's Chantel's dad, also discovers the truth about how Gray abused and killed his daughter. But what will Mitch do? Can he persuade Karen that Gray isn't quite the person she thinks he is?
Yeah, but this escalates because this next part is kind of almost been happening because it's kind of like who was the next one. And, Chelsea has survived this long, which I kind of thought she might not. But is she going to survive this next thing?
Well, she returns from the hospital after visiting Jordan, and she does. She demands the truth from Gray. But will he come clean, Hannah? Her man's desperate. He's the police have yanked him down to the station. His anger boils over. Will Chelsea survive the confrontation?
So the police are absolutely everywhere in the square, and I suppose it's Karen, the one that's protecting him, so she's got to be convinced that he did actually kill her daughter. But will the police find out, or will they, someone else take their matters into their own hands? And this is where I'm wondering here, because there's quite a few people that might take the matter into their own hands and do something.
Yeah.
And it might be, could leave the door open for Mick to go to prison.
Yeah.
And a door nicely open for him to return if he wishes.
That's in your dreams.
Yes, it is. There's a few, though, that could go for him, isn't there?
Yeah. Yes, so you've got Whitney could go for him. Shirley, we've seen her with a knife earlier in the week. We do have Mick. We don't forget Tina was, Mick's, well, technically aunt, but I would call sister because they were brought up as sisters. Mitch, Chantel's dad. And now then there's Karen. Will Karen finally see the light? I don't know what is going to happen, but for me personally, I think it's Karen's time. And it's, we've seen Shirley react and discover that Tina is dead. I think it's going to be very emotional scenes when Karen finally discovers that Gray killed her daughter. And I do think that they cannot kill him because I think as a domestic abuser, he needs to be held accountable and stand trial. I think there needs to be a trial. So it's, for me, I'm hoping Karen is going to be the one who exposes him.
I hope so too.
Perhaps.
Well, finally. Could this be happening?
It could, yes, it could be, it could be that he gets killed, but I would be surprised if EastEnders went down that route, really, really surprised.
I would be as well. Yeah, he's a good character. that's gone on a bit too long.
It's really interesting because everyone's gone on about Tina and everyone's gone on about Chantel. Poor old Kush,
I
no one
know.
cares about.
I was just thinking that. Poor old Kush. They've all forgotten about him. Well, what a great week. I mean, so many episodes to watch. You basically cancel everything out of your diary. Forget about all those Hollyoaks date nights. That's not happening. You've got a date night in front of the TV to watch these, frankly. Have an absolutely brilliant week, and we will be back next.